Hi, so my group, I couldn't contact them or get in contact with them at all to do the group meeting, so I'm just gonna have to do this by myself. Okay, so in this module, I've learned a lot of very valuable information, and I can just go down the list in chronological order of what we did. So one of the first things that was done was a discussion on financial fragility, and I read this art. I watched this video on this guy, and after watching this video, what I learned was that a long periods of like wage stagnation can lead people into financial fragility. And another really sad thing is that people following their dreams has also led people to become this because their source of income is sometimes not adequate to like comfortably live. And big investments like college tuition and having kids can also lead to financial fragility. And this guy in the video that wanted to become a writer also acknowledges that he has made financial decisions that have put him in like a tough situation. Like for example, enrolling his kids in like expensive colleges and having two children and all this stuff, and also like wanting to live in New York, and all these things add up and really cause him to be in a situation where he doesn't live comfortably economically. Um, but he doesn't really regret his decisions that he has made because he believes that they are part of life and that everyone has to be able to make these decisions. So there are times when he is broke or doesn't have enough money for emergencies, but he still believes that making these decisions he wanted to make because he's following his dreams, like for example, becoming a writer and choosing to live in New York, becoming a writer, having two children, sending them to expensive colleges, all these things are affecting his are causing his financial situation to become worse. But he believes that like you have to live life and you have to do these things, and he's just following his dreams and doing what he can. But obviously living like this is not optimal or recommended, and he does at the end talk about how some people will need to possibly give up their dreams to allow them to find where they need to receive substantial and consistent income. And that's just sad to think about that some people will not be able to pursue their passions just because of economics. Um, and then after that, we mainly did a case study. That was mainly week 2. And well, in week 1, we also had some reading that we did, and I think the main takeaway from that was the 50-30-20 rule I learned about, and that's investing 50% or taking 50% of your income in purchasing like necessities, 30% goes into wants, and then that last 20% will go invested away so that you can save that for later. I think that's definitely a good idea because it will help you to organize your money and figure out what you actually are going to be investing or saving each month, and that will make sure that you always have a certain amount saved. And also, the another thing we learned about was the zero sum rule, and that's basically where you assign like a topic or a specific thing for all of your money, so you're not left with any at the end of the month. I think that's definitely good, an organization skill, because if you have money left at the end of the month, that can be very like dangerous because you'll go, oh, I have money at the end of the month, I can go buy whatever I want, and then you end up spending more than you actually had, and then you end up having issues later on in regards to your spending and all that stuff. I think especially for me, that's definitely a beneficial thing because there's times where I really want something and I really can't get it off my mind until I have it. But if I knew that I didn't actually have the money to purchase it, then it would definitely demotivate me from actually wanting to purchase it, and will help me economically and financially in the future. So after that, we did a case study like I talked about in week 2, and this involved Anna, which is a person trying to save money for college, and she's definitely in a situation right now where she only has roughly like I think $50 saved for college, and she's going there in 1 year, and that is definitely a big concern, and we need to fix that. So we were tasked to check her and figure out her current situation and figure out what she needs to be done and what needs to be done to help fix it. So um, right now she's purchasing 10 lattes, 3 movies, 4 meals with friends, 3 trips to the mall, $70 per month for car insurance, 2 gas fill-ups a month, a cell phone bill, $36 a month, and 1 pair of shoes a month. And all of this money accumulates to $660 that she is spending per month. No, $660 she is making per month with her job, and $504 a month which she is spending. And that is definitely also a concern because she is making $154 more than she is spending, but she only has $50 saved for college. So all that money is going somewhere. So I was thinking about this, and I thought that possibly, well, she has to also take into account tax and how tax will take some money away, and your net income will not be what your income actually is because taxes take away a lot of that money. And yeah, so I came up with 2 solutions then that I think will help her to make this money for college. So the first option, which is probably the option that no one would want to do, is working extra hours. And if she works 15 hours a week, it can be assumed that she works like 3 hours a day on the weekdays. And if she wants to generate more revenue, she will need to work additional hours on the weekends. So it would be reasonable to say she cannot work more than 3 hours per day on weekdays because you have school and all these other commitments that you have to abide to. And in order for her to make at least $3,000 after expenses, she will need to work an extra 5 hours per week. And it doesn't matter exactly what hours per day, but 20 hours a week will be needed. And if this is done, her net income will be $3,456. And another option would be cutting costs. And again, with cutting costs, you have to decide priorities and necessities are. And I decided that shoes, cell phones, gas, and car insurance should not be manipulated because those are necessities. I also calculated that $1,920 extra needed to be saved per year, or $160 per month, to meet the $3,000 goal. And after lots of trial and error, I came up with a below plan I believe could be attainable. So I believe that she should cut her coffee spendings in half, because 10 lattes a month you don't really need because you're young, you don't really need caffeine anyway. And then I think that movies, 1 a month should be enough because, I mean, movies are a luxury and you don't need to go to 2 or 3 movies every month. And then eating out is also expensive, and going twice per month is a concession she needs to make because you can just make stuff at home, and eating out, like I said, is not cheap and it's going to affect your money in the long run. And then before this, she was buying 20 energy drinks or snacks a month, and that seems kind of excessive, I believe, because like at her age, she should not need that much caffeine, like I said. And 8 snacks or energy drinks should be enough because her parents are going to also probably buy snacks and food. So these are more things that her parents aren't buying that she doesn't really need. And then she already has clothes too. So going to the mall 3 times a month, it's just not needed. And that is wasting money at this point. So 1 trip should be enough. You don't really have to go at all, but just to have fun and have a little bit of fun in your life, going once a month is definitely going to be fine. And then car insurance, gas, and cell phone payments need to be paid in full, so forget about that. And the one thing I guess I didn't analyze would be shoe costs, because I guess I didn't think about the fact that she already does have shoes, and she's buying 1 pair of shoes per month, and that's also a luxury that you don't need. Like, you don't need a whole closet full of nice shoes. So that's definitely another compromise that can be done if you really need to save more money, but I just didn't take that into account when I was doing this. And then by doing all of this, we went from $504 spent per month to $340, which saves $160 per month, which is a good amount. And that is exactly what would be required, because before this, she was only making a net profit of $1,080 per year. and is now making exactly $3,000 of net income per year. In disregarding the essentials I mentioned, expenses can be reconfigured to the person's liking as long as it meets the desired value. And working 5 extra hours per week is definitely attainable, and I think that would definitely be the better option, of course, but this is up for debate and depends on the person. Because working extra is obviously not fun and people are not going to want to do this. And I mean, it's going to cut into other things that you're going to be doing in life, and you're going to have a lot less time to do anything. But again, this will also prevent all of your expenses and costs from being cut, so you can actually buy more of what you want. Yeah, so that was mainly what happened in week 2. And then in week 3, mainly we just did our financial plan. So on my website, so pull this up. So what did my spendings tell me about this module, and how might it relate to topics we have learned? So using this spreadsheet that Mr. Harris gave me, I have spent $543 this month. And before I evaluate my spendings, I just wanted to say and take into account that I'm a 16-year-old and do not have a job or an income source at this specific time. So I instead will be using like reverse tracking in order to track my spendings, in which at the end of the month, my spendings I will put into my income the next month and compare that, and then that will be my income, and then all my spendings go after that, and that will help me to see if I'm spending more each month and how, because I don't have actually a source of income at this time. And then 59% of my spendings this month involved food, which is quite large. And similar to Anna in the case study I completed, food is my biggest expense. And I mean, I guess this makes sense right now because I don't have to buy phone, I don't have to pay for a phone bill, car insurance, or any of those kind of things. I only really buy food with my money because I'm not really at a point where I'm generating my own income or having to pay these big and necessary expenses right now. And then where do I see myself in 10 years time financially, and how will I reach this? So in 10 years, I will be at the stage of my life where I will be generating my own income as well as spending. And I hope that I will have set the groundwork for an effective and efficient way of tracking my spendings. And I also see myself having completed my education career, like out of college, and in possession of a stable job with like a guaranteed income that's not going to fluctuate between weeks. And I will also be using the 50-30-20 rule to my income to help organize my money. And the zero-sum budget is also another viable option because I definitely like that, and it will help me to stop with the unnecessary purchases that are going to affect me in the long run. Because I'm definitely the type of person, like I talked about, that will begin to want something and can't get it off my mind. So having the ability and telling myself that I don't have the money to actually buy this will definitely help me in the future. Yeah. And then where do I see myself in 25 years time financially? So at this point, I see myself playing a main role in a company and making a good wage. And I will begin, or hope to have began for quite a bit of time, saving for retirement. And during this year at the latest, I can start saving as early as I want to. Like I think at the latest 25 would probably be a good year to start that. And if I am able to save more money in the first few years, that will only help me because the money will accumulate more interest over time. So I definitely think that the earliest I can start saving will definitely be the best. And then also, like I said, implementing the 50-30-20 rule into my income to help organize my spendings will also help. And then using an app or spreadsheet like I've been using will definitely help too, because I can track my spendings, understand where the majority of my spendings are coming from. And then from there, I can adjust my spendings and make adjustments in my actual spendings to see if I need to kind of cut costs in certain areas to help reach my financial goals. And then at retirement, I said I would predict that I had anywhere from $500K to $1 million saved. And the latest I would want to retire would be 65, but the earlier the better, obviously. And if I started saving at age 25 consistently up until age 65, at $2,000 per year, I would have $973,000. And this is assuming I invest my money into an IRA and receive 10% rate of return, and that definitely fluctuates between years, anywhere between 7 and 10%. But I believe an IRA is a good way of saving my money, retirement money, and can help grow my savings without a tax deduction on my income. And at this point in my life, I want to be able to comfortably live without worries of having to make more money again. Because I definitely want to be at the point where I can kind of just like chill out and not have to worry about going back to my job, because I'm going to be at the age where physically I'm going to have limitations to what I can do anyway. So I definitely think that will help. And that's that was what I did for week 3 mainly for my website. And then the only question I guess I had would be, we were assigned that income, I think like 1 or 2 weeks ago, that specific income. And I was wondering if I should implement that or put that into my spreadsheet, and then like per month, my income per month, so that I can actually track based on my in real life spendings right now, and then compare that to my made up income to see like how much I'm spending, or if that's totally unrelated. Yeah, so I think that's my only question for now. So yeah, thank you, and I'll see you later.